I see. So it has begun.
Yes.
I think that might have been Genji, but doesn't
Yeah, it
really
doesn't matter.
Even though Kinzo had received news of 6 deaths, his emotions did not waver. The expression on his face as he gazed out the window was a smile, as though his opponent in a chess game had just made a spectacular move. You guys know that chess, you know?
God.
You guys know that like chess has moves and shit?
Take a shot every time they say, in other words, chess.
You die.
Or money right now.
You die with just the in other words.
Yeah.
You die by episode 2.
You die about money.
You might as well say, take a shot every time they say the word the. You have the same chances of surviving.
Every time they make any
spell
illusion
other
of chess,
words without
just
the.
take a shot.
Yeah, but that's cheating. Anyways, it's hard to imagine that such an expression could ever appear on a father who had lost so many children at once.
Goda and Cannon followed Rosa-sama's orders and went to call the police.
Wait, those were his children? I didn't think he thought of them on
Quote unquote were.
Oh.
After that, he ordered us to follow your orders, Master. She ordered us to follow your orders, Master. What shall we do?
This island has already been cut off from the real world. Mere phones will serve no purpose.
Should I have them stop?
Until the roulette is finished, what they do to pass the time is up to them. Let them do as they please.
Yes, sir. What should we tell Rosa-sama?
Didn't I say they should pass the time as they please? They can sing if they want, dance if they want. They're even free to hang themselves by the neck or jump into a boiling kettle. Until 13 people die, they can spend their time as they like. If that's too boring, then they could wonder about whether 6 times 9 equals 42 or something. That's the answer to the mystery of humanity and the universe.
Someone's been reading Hitchhiker's Guide.
Yeah. Kinzo read books, you know?
Yeah. Yes, my apologies.
Shannon cowered in fright at this sudden rage. Genji made a gesture as though telling her not to speak out of turn. Shannon couldn't help but regret saying too much.
However, you two are also free to do as you wish. Genji and Shannon too. You have done well serving me until today.
Your words are too good for me. But, we are furniture I've sworn to serve the Master. We stand ready to serve you no matter the time. Until the very end.
I want to tell you about everything. Shannon, I am going to write a will. I shall need you to transcribe for me. Please, Genji, my usual drink.
Yes, sir.
Nanjo often recommended that Kinzo write a will because of his health, but each time he had, Kinzo had gone mad with rage. Ever since then, you'd think will would have been the word Kinzo hated most. After hearing such a word come from his lips, Shannon couldn't help doubting her ears for a second. Shannon hurriedly prepared the side table and some writing paper. Genji followed his orders and began preparing that usual green evil drink.
I'm ready.
Where should I begin? Shall I also speak of my life? It would be fun to leave behind a record of my most memorable games. It can be truly amusing to read the records of old games from centuries past, to journey in search of those players' thoughts. So, should the game record of my life lead those in the future to go on a journey in search of my thoughts?
Damn, I didn't know Kinzo strings.
For a while, Kinzo pondered over where he should begin, strutting all over the room with his hands behind his back.
I mean, shit. I mean, this is just basically like a battle royale. Except that only one person's doing all the killing.
That's not usually how it goes.
Master, here.
Ah, yes. Thank you, my friend. Well then, if I am to speak of my life, I must begin by writing of my meeting with that witch. Shannon, begin writing. My first meeting with Beatrice took place a long way back. What year of the Showa era was it? It must have been at the end of the war, so...
Yeah, but you guys don't get to see it yet.
Oh, fuck off!
God damn it! I was like, oh, backstory!
For a second, I thought we were gonna get some actual plot for once. Fuck off!
Gonna have to wait till episode 7.
Fuck off!
Here's my...
Oh, it is the Battler.
Oh.
We took enough time to regain our calm, and we each swore to our parents that we'd catch the culprit. It would be a lie to say we weren't still torn up. Even now, if we let our guards down just a little, we'd probably start going on a rampage just like Jessica, letting our emotions show with some kind of violence.
God damn it.
According to a...
Slap the shit off it! What?
Smug!
He's so fucking happy!
What is going
Let Cannon take care of it!
Yeah, I'm sure he's doing fine right now.
I'm sure Cannon's doing a good job right
You
now.
know, he does love it when those guys screw up, so that way it makes him look better.
Actually!
He's too happy.
Look at how unbelievably smug he is.
Thank
It's
God,
like,
finally got one of those annoying kids out of the way, haha!
it's like he was watching the entire fucking time.
According to what Goda said after he got back, right now, Cannon-kun was looking after Jessica. Apparently, she was still very emotionally high-strung.
I see.
Was that all Rosa then? No, wait, no.
Thank you. Maybe a young kid would be better at understanding a young kid's feelings.
Yeah, because like we told our parents, so.
It would probably be better if we left them alone for now.
Rosa-san, there is nothing more to be gained by remaining here. The phones may not be working, but tomorrow the boat will come, and we should be able to reach the police. We should leave this place as it is for the police's investigation.
I agree with Dr. Nanjo. I agree with my husband.
Huh?
You know that meme like I agree with my husband?
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with Dr. Nanjo. Staying in a place like this for too long will be bad for your health. I'm a doctor. Let us return and make some black tea.
There's gotta be a version of that meme with Rudolph and Kyrie, actually. It's like too fitting.
Yeah. I agree with that. Battler-kun, George-kun, are you ready? Let's lock up here. We ought to leave this place, as it is anyway, for when the police come.
I guess Rosa would agree with her husband if she had one.
You're right.
Damn.
Battler-kun, are you okay?
Yeah. I cried all I can. I'm fine now.
It's been a hot second since we've seen Battler, so I forgot how anime he is.
I hate the zipper on his goddamn suit jacket.
I mean, if you want to intensify the anime, just use the modern version of his CGs.
Oh, the police would surely find some evidence during their thorough investigation, but we weren't adult enough to wait for that. I'd investigated the chapel in my own way, trying to grab the culprit before the police arrived. And what I figured out was absolutely nothing, frustratingly. I wasn't able to find a single hint.
Come on, let's go out. Maria, we're going. Don't keep staring at it.
Ooh!
Come, Maria-sama. Let us return. It's cold here.
Shit's about to be so hype.
Father, Mother, thank you for everything. I will definitely become a man who doesn't betray your expectations.
George spoke his last words of farewell to his parents. After seeing
that, Battler followed suit.
Dad, Kyrie-san. Just looking at their faces, it looked like they were sleeping, but that just made it even more painful. Forgive me for leaving you in a cold place like this. I'll definitely get whoever did this, no matter what.
Lord knows I'd smash.
Lord knows I'd smash.
Just that I had to work that in while we were still in the chapel.
That picture is saved on my phone with its own folder that it's in. So
Just for that?
Bless you.
Christ.
Sure, why not?
So we go to my gallery, scroll through all my billions of fucking folders.
Lord knows I'd smash.
Lord knows I'd smash.
Oh, jeez.
Jesus. Literally.
Oh, come on now. It needs to be the Muslim Hulk, not the Christian Hulk.
George time.
Well, what is this? What a repulsive scribble. Did the culprit draw it?
This is worse than vulgar. How horrible. When the door to the chapel was closed, we learned about that creepy scribble for the first time.
When we first found this, it was already drawn here. It must have been made by the culprit.
So supposedly, the culprit was a witch, and this is a magic circle to summon a demon or something? This is the 7th magic circle of the sun. Don't you even know that? Ouch!
Hey, don't I always tell you not to make that creepy laugh?
Maria, go on. What does it mean? It's a magic circle to escape from physical or mental bonds. And the part written about the circumference says, "The Lord has freed me from my chains.
Lord knows I'd smash.
I will offer you the sacrifice of thanksgiving, and will call upon the name of the Lord in Hebrew." Because I can read that.
She could read like hastily drawn blood scribbles.
Sacrifice of thanksgiving. So, they killed Father and the rest to use them as a human sacrifice for this magic circle.
Honestly, I thought it was because they stuffed them like turkeys.
Calm down, George Kuhn. This is the culprit trying to provoke us. I'm sure it doesn't mean anything. Thinking about it will only poison the heart.
Alright, battle her again.
And looks like there's some English written here. Happy Halloween for Maria. I get it. And the key to open this door was handed over to Maria. Is that what's going on? Jesus Christ, Ryukishi. I feel like George would be saying this.
Yeah,
shit.
George would call her Maria-chan. I
Well,
think.
this is the chapel after all. Maybe Maria doesn't mean Maria-chan, but the Virgin Mary. In the case, you could read this as a blasphemy against God in the name of Halloween.
I guess.
I mean, I guess
George just be
Halloween's on a
like,
Wednesday, and I'm not happy with that. They say witches who make contracts with demons swear to defile God's name at all times. In that sense, this really is a witch-like crime. Sounds like.
Sounds like you know a lot about it. Did you get that from Maria?
Yeah, something like that.
I hope we got that whole interaction right.
Oof.
If
Chapel,
not,
huh?
it doesn't matter.
They went to all the trouble of calling them out here and killing them. On Rosa, does this chapel have some special meaning?
What do you mean, a special meaning?
Well, someone carried 6 human corpses all the way over here and set them up in set up these elaborate decorations. We can't tell if she called the six of them over here before killing them, or if she killed them before carrying them over here. But either way, it'd take a lot of effort. Why did the culprit want 6 people to die here? True. By doing something that elaborate, there would be an extremely high case of some disadvantageous evidence being found when the police arrive. It is inconceivable that the culprit would fail to realize this. The issue now is why the culprit went through all that effort. And that leads us to just one question. What meaning is there to this place, where we found the 6 corpses?
This chapel was important to Father. Ever since I was a kid, I was given strict instructions never to enter it.
Ooh! I came here once too. Got in lots of trouble. Ooh. An important chapel? Does it have some connection to the Ushiromiya head family?
I don't know. Father views this chapel as very sacred, and he treasures it so much that he had it redecorated several times. But as everyone knows, Father wasn't a devoted believer, as his passion for black magic demonstrates. I've never heard of him coming here to offer his prayers to God.
As far as I know, the master has never come here. We even call this the sealed chapel, and I found it eerie, like a haunted house.
Even though Father even never approached it himself, for some reason, He made the servants give it a major cleaning several times a year. It felt like he kept it clean all the time, so that it could be used at any moment.
And even so, it's called the Sealed Chapel. Maybe it's indiscreet to say this, but doesn't that sound pretty cool? Dr. Nancho, you're no friend of Grandfather's, right? Have you heard anything about it?
I did ask about it once, long ago, but I forget exactly how he dodged my question. That's right. I believe he said something like, "Someday, perhaps I too will be able to receive a blessing there. But unless a miracle occurs, that day will never come."
What does that mean? What would he do in the chapel? He couldn't mean his own funeral, right?
I wouldn't believe that of Kinzo-san. He was a man much more focused on the living now than matters occurring after death. Though this does seem to be the root cause of the current inheritance problem.
And what would he do in a chapel? Pray? Aren't confessions done in the chapel too? Anyway, it sounds suspicious.
I don't know the reason. But just as Dr. Nanjo said, in Grandfather's eyes, all this about not being blessed unless a miracle occurred was set in stone as far back as the chapel's construction. How do you know that? See, it's clearly written over there. Look, right there.
Georgianiki pointed to a relief with rusted gold letters on the arch above the door.
Literally written right there.
It looked like some message had been written there in English. The rust made it clear that the message had been there ever since the chapel's construction. I'm not that good with English. What is it? This door is opened only at a probability of... Sorry, my English sucks. I gave up after failing to finish even the first of the two lines. It looked like the others could read it properly.
I think it went MBTQ, so, how many did that mean? I think, anyway, this is incredible. Adding up all the fingers on both hands doesn't even get you close. It really would be impossible unless a miracle occurred.
Certainly. It's quite reminiscent of the old Kinzo-san, who loved using gambling as a metaphor whenever he got the chance.
They're not gonna tell you what the fuck they're talking about, by the way.
What the fuck?
But you can figure it out if you think about what they're saying.
Okay, this is epic.
Hey, come on, can everyone read it? Someone tell me what it means too. You've got to at least learn English. How did you get into high school without even being able to read this much?
We actually learned
Ouch!
like 4 fucking languages.
Ouch, ouch, ouch! Mind your own business. So what's written there?
In case you deserve that one.
Simply put, it means something like this. Unless a miracle occurs, this door will never be opened. Unless a miracle occurs, you will never be blessed.
Oh, wait. Oh! This is the door to the Golden Land, isn't it?
Oh, maybe this isn't Thinkum. Grandfather's magic is based on astronomically low probabilities. In other words, a miracle for opening this door would probably require an incredibly vast amount of magical power. Ouch! Nice job. You can shut up now. Rosa-san, did you have Maria take English classes? Looks like it's useless to try and learn English unless you start when you're young after all.
The sealed chapel, huh? Setting aside whether she was a witch or not, it's rumored that Beatrice actually exists several decades ago and was Grandfather's mistress.
This, just my imagination. But perhaps the master truly did love Beatrice Sama. However, he was already married, so they couldn't be united.
I see. If Beatrice was dead and could be revived with the magic of a miracle, then now the grandmother's dead, you could marry her openly. And if they married in this chapel, you might end up with a pretty fairy tale-like story, right?
Yeah, because that's what Kinzo wants.
Yeah, he
Fairy
wants
tale wedding.
He wants his current wife dies so he could resurrect his waifu and marry her.
I don't think that story is so preposterous. It's a well-known fact that Father still loves Beatrice deeply. Also, even though I said I found it creepy, I seem to remember that the interior of the chapel was quite magnificent. Thought that Father built this chapel in the hopes of having a wedding with his dead mistress. Might not be that unlikely.
By the time he built this chapel, Grandfather probably knew that he would never use it as a church as long as he lived. But he prayed for the wish to be revived by some miracle, and he thought that if the miracle occurred, they could be married here.
I see. If you think of it that way, this would be a place of utmost significance to Beatrice-sama as well. Even though he knew the chapel would never be opened. It's a story of tragic love.
Even though Goto-san was even bigger than me, his words were touching. Huh? Correlation? What did he mean by this?
I think it means that he's bigger, so he's dumber, but
Or maybe he's bigger, so he's like less inclined to be like sentimental.
Like he's like a
The
tough
logic there isn't
maybe?
quite like meeting.
Maybe it's because
Yeah,
he's big, he's a
like
tough
it,
bitch.
like you can think of reasons like maybe this is what they mean,
Battler
but none of
kind,
it quite works.
Battler kind of dummy dense.
Maybe something doesn't translate. Or
Battler's
something.
kind of a moron. If he found that letter in Beatrice's room,
He's
he'd
a little
be way
dummy
more
and incompetent.
Everyone was silent, but it seemed that they agreed with that view. Even though he knew it was a chapel never to be opened, he still probably dreamed of the day that a miracle would occur. Kinzo-san was quite the romantic in his younger days. I think I understand how he felt. I wonder. Then again, everyone went in it 4 times a year to clean, right? So much for it being the sealed chapel. Didn't we just go in ourselves? That wasn't a miracle or anything. We brought the key, click, and we're in. That's all. This is ridiculous.
Do you have to snort at every line, Nathan?
I mean, I don't like hearing Battler try to make sense of things. Sounds like such a bitch.
He just has really shitty hot takes, like...
You're right. He's really bad at like deciding things.
Huh? What? Then, what does that mean?
What are you talking about?
Battler, you make no fucking sense.
As far as I could tell, I'd just been joking around, finding myself a bit irritated by the sob story this was turning into. But then Aunt Rosa suddenly jumped on me with a really serious face. Aunt Rosa's face grew increasingly pale. She looked at the magic circle on the door, and then at her hand, back and forth, back and forth.
Ooh, what's the matter, Rosa-sama?
Hey, Goto-san. The key to this chapel. Didn't Genji say it? He said there was only one?
Huh?
It took you all way too long to figure it out. When a kid it's probably you.
When a kid pulls a prank, it sometimes goes unnoticed by the adults, and the kid who did it gets all disappointed. If such a prank then gets sprung on someone much later, it can really make a kid's day. Maria's celebration just now looked a lot like that.
Yeah, that's right. There's only one of those keys. It's the key to the Master's Treasure Chapel, so there is only one with no duplicates. It is normally kept in the safe in the key box in the servant room, but...
Maria, a murderer?
Maria, a little murder, but the envelope wasn't open.
That's right.
Kinzo's the murderer.
And Genji-san said it had gone missing. So someone stole it, put it in an envelope, and handed it to Maria? And they did it yesterday.
What the? So in other words, isn't that strange?
That's absurd. This is getting bizarre.
You could say it's a bizarre adventure.
George's Bizarre Adventure!
Joji?
Oh no! What do you mean? I don't have a clue what you're talking about.
Me neither. Would you explain it for us?
Please.
Goto and Nanjo's failure to understand definitely wasn't because they were stupid.
I know what that's trying to say, but the wording makes it sound very different.
It makes it sound so sarcastic.
Stupid or something. Christ.
They didn't know. They didn't know how long the only key to the chapel had been in Maria's possession.
There's no mistake. It was locked up. I locked it. There's no doubt.
Aunt Rosa kept closing the door, locking it, pulling on it to check the lock, and opening it again. Her face was becoming pale again.
Until I took the key out of Maria's envelope and opened this door. It was definitely locked. But this key was in an envelope placed in Maria's care. And that happened yesterday before noon.
What did you say?
But that doesn't make any sense.
God, Goda really looks like that.
God damn it.
You're right. Maria received a one-of-a-kind key from a woman calling herself a witch midday yesterday. In other words, from midday yesterday until this morning, when Rosa unlocked the door, this chapel was a closed room. How did they get these 6 people in here? And how did they kill them? It's a cool screen. The death of 6 people had shaken us badly. When we learned about that weird magic circle and the history of the chapel, we felt as though we'd figured at least part of this puzzle out. But that was all absolutely trivial. From midday yesterday until this morning, this chapel was a closed room. But our parents were with us until last night. How did the culprit get into this building? And how did they lock it up again? Oh boy, here we go. What are you trying to pull? Again? A closed room again? Are you trying to say you unlocked it with the power of magic? Don't take me for a fool.
If you're dreaming that I show you how to open locks with my power, I wouldn't mind. But that wouldn't be the same as me forcing you to surrender. You keep trying to explain it all with humans. Only when I've concerned...
Cornered.
Only when I've cornered all your theories completely will I have my victory. Come now, how will you undermine my defenses? What trick could a human have used to defeat them,
Window.
It's just like the closed rooms last time. Not enough information. It's impossible to reason like this. Any excuse could be made, any trick could work. There's no way to reason it out.
That again. There's not enough information, so you'll wait and see. Your information is uncertain, so it's impossible to use your reasoning. This is always the excuse you humans use to let yourself stop thinking. Who do you think you are, lowly human? Are you saying you can't even think unless you're like Lapsy's demon? You incompetent fool! Besides, you make it seem like a lack of information works against you, but it's the other way around, you see? The more information you're given, the more it will make you suffer! It'll only increase the strength of the compressor that's squeezing you!
Oh, in that case, let me say this. It's impossible to verify this is a closed room in the first place. If we're already talking about demons, I can play that game too. It'd be possible to prove it that this isn't a closed room. Just show how someone could have gone in and out, and you're done. But it's impossible to prove that this is a closed room. You could never deny the endless set of possible methods for getting in. In other words, this is one of those devil's proofs. This concept of a closed room is actually something that can never be proved.
I hate hearing this man fucking say that. So, first you stop thinking with a lack of information as an excuse, and now this? Very well. If that is your move, then I will accept it. Continue.
First off, it looks like you're trying to claim that the chapel's a closed room. Just a short while ago, I spent some time looking around in there, and I couldn't find any way in or out except the door. But that just means I couldn't find one. It doesn't prove that it was a closed room. If there's a hidden door or something that I wasn't able to find, your premise would be blown away completely. In other words, whether I managed to find a hidden door or not, you'll never be able to deny that there existed some method X that let you into the closed room. And this method X would be something that could be carried out without magic. After all, it's a hidden door. I'm sure at this chapel, there's some hidden door that's impossible to find. That's why there's no reason for me to reason it out, and magic is still impossible.
So you'll use that logic. How naive. An expected move. Let me make my move in response. These closed rooms used in detective novels made by mere humans always seem utterly ridiculous to me. Why? Because they're used the wrong way. When a closed room appears in a detective novel, do you really think it's a closed room? You don't, do you? What trick did they use to make this look like a closed room? That's what you think. In other words, there hasn't been a completely closed room in any of the closed room murders that humans have built over the last century.
Ooh,
What's that face?
better not say that, unless you want to face the wrath of the mystery fans. Christy's probably grinding her teeth in her grave right now.
But I am different. I have given birth to a true closed room. And I can demonstrate it. Why? Because I'm a witch. For the devil's proof, you only had to bring someone a demon to prove that they exist, correct? Well, I conveniently happen to be a witch, meaning that demons are my good friends, and I can bring you as many of them as you like.
Sounds great! Dad and the rest use a hidden door to enter the chapel, or were carried in through it. How do you plan to beat that move?
With this, regardless of whether they were alive or dead, the six definitely entered through the door.
Huh? Dumbass! The door was locked, so how'd they do it?
I opened it with magic and invited them inside.
That can't be true. Since I can't accept magic, there's no way I'll accept that. You're lying. That door can be opened with some trick. Or maybe there's a hidden door, but I won't accept any other way.
Perpetual check. That's what we call an endless repetition of moves in chess. It's the same endless repetition as a discussion that won't advance because both sides deny the basis of each other's claims, like our game. In most games, this would be resolved as a draw, but that would put a terrible damper on our fun. We will have no draws. You will either accept me and submit to me, or you will deny me.
At least I agree with you there. We'll settle this without fail, just as you wish.
I like that attitude. So, I had a thought. I think I'll add a new rule to this game between the two of us.
A new rule? I'll bet it's something that'll give you an advantage, right?
Of course not! I'll give you the thing people like you always demand. The reason you always stop thinking and then moan about it is a lack of information. And if you are then given information, you start doubting whether the information is true or not by rejecting the source. Isn't that convenient? What clever little words to hide your own incompetence! I'm offering to eliminate that convenient excuse of yours. You should thank me.
You said they entered through the door, and I said that couldn't happen. Are you calling that an evasive answer?
Exactly. So from now on, when I speak the truth, I will use red.
What is this? Keep explaining.
No matter the magic move I use. You can always keep running away by chanting lack of information and by rejecting the source. Even though I would still win in the end that way, it would be extremely boring. Because of that, I'd be happy to give you the information and the sources you desire. However, you'll probably doubt each word I say. That isn't bad in itself. I also will use every possible move to make you submit. I don't dislike your posture of searching out our best moves for our own goals, but that wouldn't make a game. So I set up this rule. Everything I speak in red is the truth. There's absolutely no need to doubt it.
Are you telling me to believe that?
This is a game between you and me. In a game, the rules are sacred. Those who take that lightly are not qualified to play.
Okay, I get you. I'll accept that rule. Even an elementary school kid can get into an endless argument and find fault with everything. Then let's start it up again, continuing where we left off. I'll say it one more time. Dad and the rest used a hidden door to enter the chapel or were carried in through it.
Then I shall repeat what I said. Regardless of whether they were alive or dead, the six definitely entered through the door.
Is there any proof?
Stop! I will supplement the rule. When I speak the truth, I will use red, and when I do, I will not bear the responsibility of establishing that claim by showing proof. They will simply be facts and the truth. My reason is simple. I carry out all the crimes with magic. So for any impossible crime, all I have to do is wave my magic staff and show you how it's done. But that wouldn't make a game. It would be as barbaric as ignoring victory and defeat in a chess match and punching your opponent in the face.
Well, that makes sense. Since you're a witch, there's no need for you to show evidence for what happened. Since you can do anything with magic, damn it. Talk about an unfair game.
So, shall we resume once more? The six definitely entered through the door. I unlocked it with magic. How will you get around this magic, this closed room?
The key. Genji-san and the others said that there was only one key, but that's impossible to prove. The culprit secretly made a duplicate key.
Only one key to the chapel exists.
Then what about this? The culprit made something other than a legitimate key and opened it. I don't know what, but maybe a wire. A tool for picking locks.
What is this naive move? It is impossible to unlock the door to the chapel with anything but the chapel's key. Although it can be opened with the power of magic, right?
And then what about this? There's something wrong with the door itself. There was some way to pass through it even while it was locked. As to what that is, I can think of a few ways. Maybe it's like those big doors on the castle that have smaller doors in them. It's also possible that they removed the hinges and then removed the whole door before entering.
Is this the best a century of human wisdom can manage? Battler! When the door to the chapel is unlocked, it prevents any and all methods of entry or exit. Assuming you can't use magic, right? Is it about time for checkmate?
Not even close. You said those six people entered through a door, but you didn't say it was the front door. They might have entered through another door, a secret one.
You talk too much, you incompetent fool! Then let me expand on my earlier move. The six definitely entered through this front door.
That's screwed up. The door was locked. It was impossible to unlock it without using that single key. And yet six people entered through it? How? With magic, you say? Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it!
Are you already seeing the limits of what humanity can manage? Then shout you resign! When one admits defeat, it's customary to shout it out and knock over their own king. So, do you resign? Then announce your surrender and knock your king over by kneeling. Then you may kiss my shoes. There could be no greater joy than forcing a man like you to lick my shoes.
Oh. You alright?
I like that foot fetish.
Yeah,
vibe
Beatrice
that
is
came
all
off
about
of
that
lick
shit.
my shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The licking was a bit much.
Damn it. It's useless, useless, useless. So I can't win against a witch? This isn't chess at all. I've just been made to take a losing side in a chess puzzle. Is quibbling about the details and getting a draw the best I can manage?
That's the only thing that'll never happen. Either I will surrender or you will. There can be no other resolution. What happened to that bravery you displayed when you said this would be torture for us both? Hey, hey, hey! What a disappointment! What a total letdown! Wouldn't you say you should roll me a battler?
Damn it! What should I do? What should I do? I can see it. I can see the place where I'll face checkmate. Ugh, it's useless. It's useless. All my hard-fought moves have been nothing more than me desperately moving my king around, running away from check. No matter how many times I move, I can't escape from check. So even without waiting for the next several moves, I can see checkmate in my future. Ugh! Damn it! After a few more moves, I can see where I'll face checkmate. Don't give up, Ushiromiya Battler. If I can see myself getting closed in upon, then if I spin the chessboard around, I should be able to anticipate her next move, right? Remember what Kyrie-san said. When you're thinking about something, then the closer you get to the very, very end, the easier it is to anticipate. Spin it around. Spin the chessboard around.
What happened? You fell silent all of a sudden. Fear not. Surrender is but a momentary shame. After that, all that remains is the joy of entrusting your fate entirely in the hands of your new master. Come on, cry out in resignation. I can't hear you. Speak up and say it clearly.
You're wilding out here. Enough babbling. You're just refusing to listen. So I'll say it once more. I won't resign. Continue. Resume the game.
Huh. Very well. It is your turn, after all.
I made the mistake of thinking this rule you made was your own weapon. However, I realize it can also become a weapon for me. It all comes down to this.
Please do, give it a try.
I've been focusing all this time on how they entered the closed room of the chapel. That approach was useless. It's useless. It's all useless. Spin the chessboard around. That's right. I was thinking about it backwards. This is how I should approach it. How is the chapel, which wasn't a closed room in the first place, made to look like a closed room?
Here it comes. The thinking technique humans gave birth to over the course of a century. Give it a try.
Say this in red for me. If you can't, then refuse. Here I go.
Does this man intend to reverse his defensive posture? Impotence.
I get that the only way to enter the chapel is through the door, and that there's only one key. But wait. The question is whether the key really was handed over to Maria yesterday before noon.
My, but you're dragging this on. Do try and get to the point.
It's something like this. We've been under the impression that the key's been unusable since midday yesterday. So we've assumed that this was a closed room from midday yesterday until this morning. I want to hear you say that this impression of ours is a solid fact.
Interesting. So you turn your reasoning not to the door, but to the key.
Yesterday, Maria received an envelope from you. She didn't open it, but she might have felt it and known that there was a key inside. But it's not like she'd have been able to confirm absolutely that it was the key to the chapel. Here's what I'm getting at. The thing inside the envelope given to Maria was a fake.
If you think about what you're saying, it's ridiculous. This morning, Rosa definitely took an envelope out of Maria's handbag, and from that obtained the genuine key to the chapel. It wasn't a fake, as you suggest.
I know that much. I'll continue. In that case, when Maria first received the envelope, the thing inside it was definitely that same key to the chapel, right?
Huh.
See what I'm getting at? Midday yesterday, you gave Maria an envelope with a key inside, and you told her that she mustn't open it. Maria probably realized it had a key inside. Later on, Aunt Rosa used the thing inside the envelope to open the door to the chapel, and that's why we assumed it was a key to the chapel all along. This is the suspicious part.
So, is this what you're trying to say? That when I entrusted Maria with a key, the key was fake? And then by the time Rosa obtained it, it had been switched with the real thing?
Yeah, that's it. What's wrong, Beatrice-sama? You've been looking a bit pale for a while now, huh?
Those close to me sometimes call me Beato. Beato will do.
It's your turn, Beato. The turn of the Golden Witch. Let's see you dodge this.
Episode 2.
Very well. The key to the chapel truly was the object inside the envelope I gave Maria.
I'll move forward. Can you repeat it in red? That envelope was completely under Maria's supervision until Aunt Rosa opened it. If you can't say it, then say you refuse. Check.
I refuse.
I spun it all around with just one move. Now it's your king on the run, Beato.
I have a reason for refusing. It regards the definition of the phrase under her supervision. In its purest meaning, Maria would need to have her eyes on it around the clock for that to be true. But Maria didn't go that far. It may have been completely under her supervision when she took it out of her handbag, but after she put it inside, it disappeared from her field of vision. In that sense, the phrase under her supervision would be inappropriate, so I can't use the red nothing more. Ugh.
I'll bet that move hurt. And your face tells me you've guessed the next one. Sorry. I'm kind to women. I don't hurt them. Except Maria. And I never betray a woman's
It
expectations.
doesn't hurt Maria.
It's time for you to repeat it in red if you think you can. No one was able to touch Maria's handbag until Aunt Rosa took out the envelope. Never, ever.
I will also refuse this one. I won't explain the reason.
That's wrong. It's not that you won't explain it. It's that you can't explain it. That move gives us checkmate, doesn't it? If you can't do it, then I'll explain. The key to the chapel really was in the envelope you handed to Maria. Then, Maria put it in her handbag, and the next morning, Aunt Rosa took it out and opened the lock. However, Maria didn't have the handbag under her complete supervision. There's no need for magic. It's a closed room trick that's possible for a human. The human culprit handed Maria the key, and by making Aunt Rosa use it the next morning, they created the illusion that there was a closed room during that time. You can't deny the possibility that during that time, the culprit took the key from Maria's handbag, used it, and returned it by morning. Can you say it in red? Repeat it. If you can say it, then say it.
Objection.
It's check again.
Not yet. I remove the check. The envelope with the key in it should have been sealed with wax. Rosa took it from an unopened envelope.
Really? Then try saying it. Repeat it. The envelope handed over midday yesterday, and the one Aunt Rosa opened are the same thing.
That I can repeat. The envelope I handed over to Maria and the one Rosa opened are the same thing.
It's useless. It's all useless. That doesn't even matter anymore. I expected more from you. I figured that if you were a bit better at reading between the lines, you'd resign right there. So I'm disappointed. You've betrayed my expectations.
What?
Who cares if the envelope were the same? Envelopes can be sealed with wax over and over. The key inside is what's important. This time, it's all over, Golden Witch. It's a real checkmate. I'll say it one more time. Repeat it. If you can say it, try saying it. The key to the chapel inside the envelope Maria received wasn't even used once until Aunt Rosa opened the envelope.
How could I against a lowly human?
The series is over.
Damn.
I'll keep on saying it, Beatrice. Repeat it. The key to the chapel inside the envelope Maria received wasn't used even once until Aunt Rosa opened the envelope.
Phone, give me it now.
Oh.
I don't think that's what that was supposed to sound like, but
Oh.
Godspeed, Hannah.
Fuck.
If you're gonna yell, then say you resign.
I just kind of assumed you were trying to avoid making it sound like sexual.
No, I thought it was gonna be like a ah.
No, it was like an ah! I don't know. It was like a scream. If you're gonna yell, then say you resign. This settles it. This is the truth. Before Rosa obtained Maria's key this morning, at one point, it passed to someone else's hands. Then, they used it, resealed it, and returned it to Maria's handbag, making it look like it had been used. This is a trick with a cheap loophole, the assumption that the key wasn't used because the sealing wax wasn't opened. Checkmate. There's no magic, and it's nothing more than a trick that's possible for humans.
In that case, why do you say stole the key?
Who?
Oh, who do you say stole the key? Try answering. This time you try repeating it.
That's right, I'm making you repeat things all the time. I probably have to answer every once in a while, but I refuse. My conditions for victory is denying a wish's existence. I'll prove that the impossible crime done with your magic was actually possible by human hands. I've smashed your closed room with something possible even for humans. However, I won't specifically investigate who the culprit is. Because I believe in humans. Because I definitely won't accept that there's a person among us who would steal the key from Maria, use it, and do something so horrible.
I give up. I resign. Just once. For this skirmish, I'll give up. But you really are naive, battler.
Parting remarks are a loser's privilege. Say as many as you like.
Since you continue to deny my existence, you will eventually be cornered. After all, since you deny me, you will have to suspect those relatives that you can't stop loving. In the last moment, when you have suspected one who is beloved to you, then you will surely accept my existence. True, you have defeated me in this skirmish alone. However, that naive logic will definitely destroy you. You can't win against me after all. Ushiromi a battler? Look, what the fuck? Ushiromi a battler?
Oof.
Epic style.
That was epic style.
Damn.
My voice took a leap out the goddamn window on that last
Battler just trolled a libtard epic
Hey, what time is it?
style.
Trolled the witch tart.
Jesus.
The witch tart. 104.
In
Oh wait, in game?
Oh.
Fuck if I know.
It's 104?